Welcome back. You're listening to the Cindy Laverty Show on CRN Digital Talk Radio. I want to let you know that you can follow the show on Facebook at Cindy Laverty Show, or you can follow me on Twitter at Cindy Laverty. And CRN, I have my blog there every week for upcoming shows. So follow the show and let me know what you think, and let me know people who you'd like to see me have on that have something to do with the subject of care. That's all I ask. Just don't send me any wackos. Okay, my guest today is Karen Mangini. You can, if you're watching on Ustream, you can see the lovely Mandy sitting over there, the dog that really changed Karen's life. She just told me at the break.
Really did.
I want to get to the service dogs and the vets in a second, but introduce us to Mandy and tell us a little bit about her story.
This is Mandy. She's 15 years old, and I went to the shelter to get a cat. I didn't want a dog. I saw her, and my heart jumped out of my throat, and I knew she was my dog. But they said to me there was a big red check mark on her cage, and they said that, oh, you don't want that dog, she's mean. She was adopted by 3 different couples and then taken back to the shelter because she was attacking their children.
Can you hear her breathing in the microphone?
Sorry. And so I said, well, I don't have any children, so I brought her home and trained her, and now she works at the Children's Hospital as a volunteer. Now she works with children.
So the dog that went from attacking children, biting children, is now a service dog
and
for children.
She's the one that made me realize that I needed to work with animals, because she really opened me up to what I can offer and what I need to show people about.
And she's 15.
And she's 15 years old and still going strong. And I think she's as happy and healthy as she is because she has a job. Dogs need jobs too. Dogs need to know that they've made a difference, or they need to know they're doing something, that instead of just lying around and eating, you know?
Okay, I'm going to give Sassy the job of filing all my random papers in my office.
Well, no.
All right, let's talk about this. I'm so fascinated by the thing that you're doing for the vets. Because, how does this work? What's the name of the organization?
It's the Cat and Dog Organization, and it was started by somebody that wanted to do just what I'm doing. Originally she wanted to help animals, but then she wanted to work with autistic children or whatever. And she realized that, again, vets are really, they're forgotten. Our wounded warriors are truly forgotten. And the animals, and they really respond to the animals. So it's a way of putting 2 throwaway individuals together.
So how do you put how does the vet go pick out the dog with you? Do you do that together?
I've done that, yes. I take him, it depends, sometimes they're in a wheelchair, so that makes it difficult. But yes, we go to the shelters and he picks out the vet or the dog, or I go and do it, and then
Have you ever had a dog pick out the vet?
Well, yeah. Well, that you walk down the little aisles and you see which dog responds, and
because that's really how I rescued my dog Sassy. I went to I was not at a shelter, but she had been rescued from a shelter. So, I'm looking at all these dogs, and as I walked by, she went.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, okay.
That's how I found Mandy. That's what happens. These little dogs come straight up to the gate and respond, or they turn around and walk away. You don't, so you pick the one there's a connection with.
So we have dogs today working in all areas of society. So they touch the lives of autistic children. Right? In huge ways. I mean, they make big breakthroughs.
Yes, they do, because animals and children speak the same language, the language of the heart, and they're telepathic. They're on a whole different level.
And we're learning that this is how autistic children communicate.
Yes.
Really, which is why so often they're so misunderstood.
Yes, instead of taking them and making them communicate the way we do, it's the same with mental illness. We need to appreciate where they are and encourage their different way of communicating, which we have something to learn from these people instead of shutting them away or, training them in our methods. The same way, we have to come down to the level of our animals and learn their language.
Right, and we know how they help the elderly who are alone and sad, and they just
it brightens their day.
They bring joy.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I was in Virginia for my daughter's college graduation, and we went hiking, and there were 3 women there with service dogs that had clearly been rescued. They were not purebred dogs or anything, and they they were epileptic therapy dogs.
Oh, yeah.
And this woman told me that, she said, this dog has given me my life back because it can detect when I'm going to have a seizure.
Yes, dogs lower the blood pressure. They calm the nerves. They can even lower the cholesterol. They can detect a diabetic coma or a epileptic seizure. They can be trained anyway. I mean, there's subtle energies that we're not aware of, that these dogs and the autistic children and horses and all animals pick up.
We know that about horses.
Yeah.
Equine therapy is an amazing thing. I've done that a few times. So, all right, I got to take a quick break. Stay with us. You're listening to the Cindy Laverty Show. I'll be right back.
I wanted to have that brochure back.
You've been rear-ended and suffered pain.